Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today it's The Man on the Run, Episode 3, Season 3. The Convert? The Convert. The Covert? The Convert. The Convert. Anyway, The Convert, thank you. We've got not a full deck tonight, but we do have two of the three regulars here. Matt Mohl, how you going, buddy? From the newly back 3 Men and a Baby Yoda podcast.
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Good to be here. I jumped through hoops to be here, family-wise, and have made it unscathed. I'm very excited.
Well, we're not finished recording yet. Let's just wait and see. Your wife calls you in from upstairs. You know, Matt just disappears off this episode.
If I'm summoned,
you'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah, you could. Although if it happens, you're not allowed to just like wave quietly and point upstairs and disappear. You actually have to say on the podcast, "I've been called away." And I have to go. So everyone knows. Yeah, I have to go. And Catherine, as always, good old, reliable, always here every week. Catherine, set your watch to it. How's it going?
Yep, old Yeller.
15 in a row, Catherine.
Doesn't miss a trick.
Yes.
Although I'll finish your sentence and then I've got a follow up.
This is very, very good. I'm holding it in. Come on, come at me.
I was going to say I've got a bone to pick with you today.
Ooh.
Because I was on this website called Twitter. You may have heard of it, and a friend of ours, Matt Grant, from Blue Bantha Milk, put a tweet up saying, "Who's going solo to Star Wars Celebration?" And Catherine replied, "I am." On there, and I was like, "What? Where is this coming from?"
In his tweet, he had who's emoji of a plane solo to Celebration. I'm on the plane on myself.
I took that as who's going to Celebration solo, like who's attending by themselves with no mates. Even the fact he put it up there, I found was a little insulting, since we're in a Facebook group talking about Celebration every day with him and doing stuff. But anyway, whatever.
I feel very left out.
I was going to say some people aren't even going to.
I'm not even going.
Oh well, sucks to be you. So, episode 3 of The Mandalorian, The Convert. This was right.
Whoa.
Okay, you'll have to mute me.
Yeah, that was your mic was already loud before we started, and you've just
look at the sound bites. Jesus,
I know. We might have to. Thanks for the extra editing you're going to give me after this. So I've got to put that down. But anyway, blow everyone's ears off. To be honest, that didn't even cross my mind. I just kept watching.
I had a feeling this was coming. I had a feeling it was anything that's deep and rich storyline is now Andorian.
Well, it was kind of like, it was basically like two different episodes. It was sort of the Mandalorian bookended the start and the end of this, and it was kind of weird. Like when I was watching the start of it, and we picked up exactly where we left off. Has any other episode picked up exactly where we left off before? I'm just trying to think.
No, Last
Jedi
ended
and literally. No. Yeah, but I mean, as far as in The Mandalorian, has it ever done that? Yes, exactly.
Yes, it has.
Did this come up in Andor? I feel like it might have. This is why you're making fun of me for saying Last Jedi.
Season. Yes. You said your thing is when the next episode takes off from the most previous one. You could say that's Last Jedi.
But this wasn't even like the next hour. It was like literally just
season one when Quill died and Grogu was captured. We went straight into it.
Yeah, that's true. So Bo-Katan pulls Jin out of the water and she's seen the mythosaur, and he kind of comes to and he's kind of gone, oh yeah, I'm legit now. I'm too legit to quit. And she wanted to keep the
What would have been hilarious? What would have been hilarious if she took his helmet off to help him breathe? Like because he had been drowning. Yeah,
I've got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
This time tie a rope around my belly, please, before I do it. And he did fall too. He didn't get pulled in. Like they actually said that he just stepped too deep.
But he went so far deep. Anyway. It's good that there
Well, she did say that. Doesn't she go, oh, they're like, it's normally not that deep. Like somebody's like bombed the bottom out of it, and then that's why it's deep.
Seismic activity.
Yeah, right. There it is.
Yeah.
She's very good at explaining things the last 2 weeks. I'm royalty. I'm this. Oh, careful here. There's seismic activity. She's good. She's like walking Google.
But she doesn't want to mention that she saw the mythosaur. So that was a bit weird that she just kept that little bit of nugget of information to herself.
Yes. Mythosaur secrets.
It's got to be somehow linked to like the prophecy of the new leader of Mandalore and, linked to the return of the mythosaur. It's got to be somehow linked to that.
Yeah, I think
because she was very specifically asking Din if he had seen the mythosaur.
Yeah, I think she basically is like, I don't want everyone to know that Mandalore's back until I'm in charge, because I don't want, a scramble for Mandalore until I'm in my best position of power here.
I need to be riding the mythosaur with the Darksaber to really
I still want that
lock in that
Darksaber.
power. Everyone knows that I'm the royal family, but no one seems to care.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the Prince Charles of the
King Charles.
King. Oh yeah, God. There you go. There it just goes to show. Yeah. So she basically keeps that information to herself. I think she's still. I mean, we'll talk. Maybe we'll come back to her motives and things because they do obviously turn up at the end. We'll try and keep somewhat linear in this episode. Actually, we haven't even just asked. What did everybody think off the top of their Did everybody dig this episode?
Well, I think we know Catherine did.
Well, Catherine.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Like, so even the Mando bits, it was really cool seeing, as we see a bit later, the dog fights, and so that was all cool. So
Oh, here's one for you, Matt. You might be able to answer this. You're quite good at this kind of stuff. First, is that the first on-screen TIE interceptors?
No.
Where are the TIE interceptors?
Return of the Jedi.
You're right. How did I miss that? All right. Very good. I was watching going, are they? And I'm going, they're in the video games? No, they're definitely in the... It's nice to see a TIE interceptor. I always
love the TIE. I thought just for a split second when all those ships were coming on the radar, I was like, ooh, is this the moment?
Oh, get out. Yeah,
no. Like, where are the ships? Where are those Imperial ships coming from?
Yeah,
they've got to be coming from a Star Destroyer. And why are they attacking all of a sudden just randomly?
Yeah, I mean, is it? I mean, it does. Let's just jump ahead. Like, who cares? Whoever's listening to this has listened. But like, when those, ex-Imperial people are all talking, and there's what's her name who was working for Moff Gideon. They did start saying, "I heard Moff Gideon escaped the war criminals thing." And it was sort of suggested that no one seems to know exactly where he is, or is a rumor that no one knows exactly where he is, that he may be on the run again.
Well, I didn't think it was Moff Gideon. I thought it was that guy.
Yeah, wow. Keep dreaming, pal.
Yeah.
Keep dreaming. I think he's closer than you think.
Oh, look, I'm absolutely sure he's going to turn up in Ahsoka. I mean, maybe they'll dangle it. Maybe Mando Season 3 leads into Ahsoka. We've got a Book of Boba Fett thing going again, but we'll see. We'll see how.
Well, the pirates from... Mos Nass are part of the protagonists of the Skeleton Crew TV show.
What?
That was. I read something this week that we got a glimpse of Mos Nass and his Nikto pirates in Skeleton Crew.
Really? You're not just dropping, speculation from Mike Zero on this podcast.
No, I'm not.
Well, Reddit leaks.
Yeah, right. We don't usually do leaks and spoilers.
I know you are. No, this was on Screen Thrill or something. So this is a legitimate.
Oh, that's not legit.
Unless it's
Whatever.
Screen Crush with the guy with the little dog that I like. The little dog is like, I am so small. I like him, but
Well,
I'm not familiar
all
with
I know
Screen
is
Thrill.
that they were saying that we got a glimpse of Skeleton Crew in the second episode.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So then we jump to Coruscant, and we're back with Dr. Pershing. We knew that he was in because he was in the trailer. And then we go straight to the Revenge of the Sith Opera House. So I was like,
know.
damn, we're back at the Opera House with the bubbles and all that sort of stuff. But no, it was just like everybody just turned up for a TED talk, basically.
It looked identical to the Opera House. The red carpets. The only thing missing was that busty Twi'lek going up the stairs.
Isn't George Lucas George Lucas in that scene somewhere? In
Chairman
Revenge of the Sith?
Papanoia,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep. Papanoia. God. So yeah, and then he's kind of Dr. Pershing's there doing this sort of TED talk about how he's renounced the Empire and he's in the amnesty program. Did anybody think it was weird that they made such a big deal about how he was a genius scientist who could do these amazing things and he'd been rehabilitated, and then they literally just stuck him in a dead end job? But like, if they just taken him and stuck him in a dead end job, okay, I kind of get that. So he can stay out of trouble. But they actually went to all the trouble for everyone to know who he was, what he did, and what he can do. Like in a huge public setting where like all the most influential people in the galaxy are apparently there going, oh, well done. Look at you, you genius person, and all the things you can do.
I did think that was odd. I thought, yeah, like, oh, yeah, we've got this guy. He's got incredible talents. Oh, and we're going to make him just, put scrap metal to waste.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure why they did paraded him around like that.
It very much felt odd because immediately, when they were talking about old Imperial or former Imperial officers being integrated into the New Republic, I was thinking about the days after World War II when German scientists were taken to America and put into the rockets and space program. Yes, made to use their talents there. So to use Dr. Pershing in a very public TED talk to renounce the Empire, but highlight the work that he could do and then not have him in any scientific role, just
at least under supervision or something, like it's just kind of weird.
It seemed more of like a PR stunt. Look, the Empire's gone. We've got some of their best and brightest and rehabilitated them. Blah blah blah.
But they kind of put him through this big, literally put him in the middle of the tennis center or something bigger. They put him on the celebration stage, and then they stuck him in a taxi and they just shoved him out the door and took him down to the amnesty barracks where he sort of meets up with a couple of rando ex-Imperials who are all chit chatting. And then there's her name escapes me.
Kane,
Elia Kane, Katie O'Brien.
Elia Kane.
Yep. Who obviously was on Moff Gideon's ship in the last series, and she's apparently jumped ship. She's turncoat.
Well, when I saw her, I saw Gideon's officer ... double agent, because she's all evil.
I know. I mean, they tried to make her quite charming, and I think there was just like, she's sort of, maybe there's a little ship going on here, maybe there's a little bit of spark of a romance thing going on, but I think you just can't look. I'm just like, come on, hurry up and betray him. Something, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. I'm sorry, even if you're dropping those biscuits off or whatever you're doing.
It had a lot of space food in this thing. There's space biscuits, space ice creams.
Oh, how good with the space ice coming soon to Galaxy's Edge. Get yourself a glowing ice cream.
I think they're called a photon fizzer.
Yeah. If they're not
$9. Yeah, $9 for a photon fizzer at Galaxy's Edge.
But it'll be part of a deal with one of the soft drinks in the canisters.
Yep.
Have we got the blue noodles yet, Catherine? Have you made those at home just out of curiosity?
No.
Oh no, not yet.
No.
Did Binging with Babish do a blue noodles episode? Did we send that to you? I feel like he might have. the cooking show on YouTube, Binging with Babish, where he makes the food from TV shows. I think he made the blue noodles.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I'll have to check. I'll send you the link after we finish up here.
If it's more complicated than 2-minute noodles with blue food dye dumped in it, then
Pretty
you don't want to
that's
know about
sorry.
it.
Yeah.
Did you have any of the? I mean, we ate it at Galaxy's Edge. We ate at the cafeteria. We had like a Ronto wrap or whatever it was, an Ewok. It was like an Ewok something. I can't remember what it was. Did you have the?
Yeah.
Josh and I
Had the Ronto
Josh and I sat
wrap.
down for a meal. Remember we had
we had like
pasta.
Ewok. It was like a chicken thing on mash, but it was chicken and mash.
Yub nub something, and I had something else.
Yeah, but I didn't get the drink though. I didn't get like the it's like the Indian laxi or whatever it's called, which is like the yogurt drink. I didn't have one of those, but I drank at the cantina the night before with Araj and those guys. So
Yeah, I had a Ronto wrap, the Tatooine Sunrise, and blue milk. I had a couple of blue milks, but I think I had an allergic reaction to something that was in the Ronto wrap or the Tatooine Sunrise. So
you should have written a letter. You might have got a free coupon or something. You got to go. So it was it was actually quite nice them walking around sort of like peaceful Coruscant, and people are having a good time. It's like a carnival atmosphere. I did like the mountain in the middle of the thing. I thought that was very cool. That was like the highest mountain on Coruscant, and it was the only land that you could see in the whole city or in the whole planet.
So it gives you an idea of the depth that all the levels of Coruscant that there must be going down. But rewind a little bit. Go back to the Amnesty housing. How much does that look like where
here we go.
Andor's mum's...
Cyril's mum?
Cyril's mum.
I had a feeling.
Oh, you think it's been converted? You think the New Republic's shifted out all the... Oh, I guess it's 20 years. So obviously, Cyril's mum's probably long gone. 25 years?
Let's hope so. Cyril's killed her, trust me.
Yeah, Cyril, yeah. Cyril's got her in the attic in a chair like Psycho.
She's in a well, lotion on the skin for sure.
There was some big Cyril vibes this week, as you said. I alluded to before, Catherine, that Dr. Pershing was sent off to the sort of the boring administration stuff into the archives, where it seems like there were
looked like the bureau that Cyril worked in.
It's weird, isn't it?
It had those vibes.
The implication is that basically the New Republic is just chucking out anything that's Imperial and starting again.
Yeah. And, I had big, oh my God, why not? Are you recycling things? Like, what's going on? Like, my hoarding brain is just like, how can you just chuck stuff out? No, don't. It could be useful one day.
Well,
At least keep one.
I'm sure they just melt everything down, melt those Star Destroyers down and turn it into tin cans or whatever they do. But, so basically she starts getting on Dr. Pershing's good side and basically just manipulates him. Clearly she wants... Well, I don't know what her goal is. I thought basically she wanted him to clone for Gideon, who's probably still around, and continue the work. And then she seems more intent in just frying his brain. So what? So he can't do work for anybody else? But why was couldn't she just push him out of a window or something if that was all she needed to do?
I think he just knows too much and can do too much, and his information must be so solid. Doing work for Gideon, Palpatine, I don't know, who knows what he's done, and obviously the Empire has sent her there as a mole. Excuse the pun, to be a double agent and report back on everything.
Well, I don't know if she was sent. She might have chosen to continue the mission. That, once she saw Pershing, she made the decision that I know what the goal was. No, that all your memories die. Like you cannot have it. So that Gideon and Thrawn can continue the mission without New Republic interference. Because wasn't she on the ship that was captured, by Mando and all of that, and then handed over to the New Republic? so I don't think she exactly handed herself over.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I can't remember.
I mean, it seems like that they basically, anybody that they catch who's still Imperial, they take them off to rehabilitation camp.
Reintegration camps, yeah.
Yeah, which seems to be a bit more like a touchy-feely way of, realigning you. It's kind of weird that they're just sort of, they kind of portray the New Republic as just sort of like, I hate using this term because I hate the term and I think it's dumb, but like overly woke. Of just like, hey man, like, it just seems like they're trying so hard to not be the Empire. They're just being really touchy-feely and really like kind of.
Well, that droid, I get what you're saying, but that droid question is like all those annoying questions. Like, I was like, shut up.
But I do like that they imply that all the rich people are still just dicks who don't care. Like, they haven't really changed from Andor. Like, the rich people are just like, oh, the Empire left, did they? Oh, whatever. I'll just go back to the hot tub.
Just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, some of those people look like, they could have been on the set of Andor, just walked.
Did you notice
from one to the other.
Seinfeld actress on Coruscant in that little scene?
The Seinfeld actress?
Yeah, it's the one.
Nazi?
No, it's the one that I've got it.
Elaine?
No. She's the one that boo and hisses Jerry on the stage, and then Jerry goes and hisses her at the office, and she has a mental breakdown. And she was one of those Coruscant wealthy people.
Really?
Yes.
Deep Seinfeld.
There's a pool. You must have. There's no way you could have discovered that on your own. You must have already been on Twitter by the time that.
No. That was me. I was just like, where have I seen that? Look at my Google search. It actually took me a while to find it because I was like, on my Google search, it was Seinfeld guest redhead, Seinfeld Nelly, Seinfeld redhead. Seinfeld redhead Mandalorian, and then I remembered Seinfeld boo hiss. Got it.
Okay.
I hope that's all the search history we need to know about what's on your phone, Matt.
that's all I'll share.
Then who was the guy? Because it's not up on IMDb yet. Who was part of the Amnesty housing crew, but kind of like the leader, like the guy who was more standing up. Who was he? He was familiar. Sorry, I didn't watch the credits, everyone. Well, I did watch the credits, but I was just sitting there in a daze. Too tired. But, he was familiar to me. So that's going to annoy me until I know.
Yeah, he had some sort of vibe to him. I didn't recognize him.
Yeah. And the guy pushing the trolley with all the memory cards. He's a dude as well.
He's probably some
good
call the midwife.
Some good Moncals in this episode as well too. We were sport for Moncals.
We were sport for so much. There was Ithorians. There was so many different aliens. Like there was that big guy on the train, and then just walking through with the space ice creams. There was a lot. They put a lot of detail and a lot of effort.
I feel like this must have been a very expensive episode. So she kind of, she's just like, hey man, like if you don't want to keep cloning? Isn't that what you really want to do? And he's just kind of like, oh, I guess if that'll help the Republic, which like, dude,
she gaslit him for sure.
You've never had a girl smile at in your direction in your whole life, I don't think. I think you've just been easily led on this, but so she basically convinces him to go to pick up some stuff from an old Imperial ship that's got all the lab stuff that he needs, and they go through this little jaunt through the city, really, and on the train, avoiding the ticket inspectors like you're on a Melbourne tram. The old hop off.
Is anyone else getting Indiana Jones vibes? Like no ticket.
I was surprised that it didn't actually sort of kick off, but they sort of like jumping from that train at the end. There's no way you jump off that train unscathed. How fast it was going through an industrial area, and you managed to land on the one cushion
rooftop. Yeah, it's Star Wars. It's allowed.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
It's fake in space.
Yeah, but it was cool. And then there was a nice big shot of a Star Destroyer, and I always like seeing big, like crashed spaceships and things. That was very cool.
I was a bit surprised to see like a junking yard on Coruscant. I would have thought that would be off somewhere else, that Coruscant would think itself too important and glamorous to have, you know, a scrapyard, basically.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
You know, how...
But I think
Yeah,
it's
like-
because of, you know, what he's doing. Like, they're decommissioning all those stuff, so he sends the
Yeah.
orders through, and then it gets done locally. I think originally all the Star Destroyers were built on Corellia, and then just
Yeah.
But this is sort of like a stripping and, you know, tagging, labeling, and then inventorying what we've destroyed.
They had all that stuff in like the prequels where there was, you know, like where they all the not the Star Destroyers, the Republic, you know, whatever they were, their equivalents and all, you know, were all lined up and stuff there. So there might just be some big empty spaces they've just converted for that kind of business. But yeah, it's I don't think it's all prime. I mean, it's not all prime real estate at Coruscant as well. We know it seems to be just anything that up high is prime real estate. The rest is just kind of
all the lower levels are just
it's like
you know,
it's like the ghetto,
lower class. Yeah, where the Martez sisters live.
So yeah, they get onto the Star Destroyer. They find the lab, and then there's like some disturbance on there. And for whatever reason, we don't actually like. I was waiting for some like creature to like bust out and like, "Rawr," and there would be a whole sort of sequence of that, and they just kind of ran away.
Yeah, they sort of. I thought something was going to happen. They zoomed in on like this space bug quickly, and then I put a note down saying, "Oh, I wonder if that's going to come back." And it's like a little space lady beetle or something.
Yeah, and then they kind of went around the corner, and there was a few more of them, and there was sort of some stuff on the walls and things. And I'm going, all right, well, it's obviously like the mama bug or something is there. And then, no, they just kind of hightail it out of there.
But yeah, it definitely looked a bit weird, you know, going around the Star Destroyer when it was in that state, you know, a bit like if you ever watch those abandoned videos of like shopping malls or hotels that have been abandoned for 3 years or 5 years or something, and the scrappers come in.
Yeah. Although all the
Or is
doors,
that just me?
all the doors seem to work and everything as well. Like, it was in terrible condition. It kind of just seems weird that they would just trash the whole thing. That they wouldn't just, for like a New Republic that's trying to get on its feet. There must be so many resource there that they could use, but it just seems that they're just like, nah, anything that's Imperial, we're just chucking it away.
Yeah. I sort of understand it in that sort of Star Destroyer sense, in that it's such an icon that it would, you know, get feelings and things. But you'd think other equipment, you could just literally put a sticker on it.
Yeah.
And rebrand.
Yeah, I don't think you can stick a sticker on a. You probably can't stick a sticker on a Star Destroyer and just show up on a planet and just park it at the top and be like, oh no, look, there's a little starry New Republic sticker at the top there. Everything's cool. All right, now Matt, what happened when they left the Star Destroyer? So she sold him out to what end? To just get him in that room?
Well, it seems like she was leading him on the whole time, and then taking him on the journey, getting him there, and then also informing the security of the whole time. And then they're ready. They catch him, and then they just take him away. And he's like, "Great job, officer!"
Yeah, so she basically just entrapped him, like just convinced him enough to do something wrong in order for him to go into custody.
Basically,
it's a long game, and just in order to get him on that table to fry his brain. So she's assuming that she'll be allowed in the room, assuming that they'll necessarily do that thing, assuming that they'll let her in the room with the controls at that time.
Well, I think that the conversation between her and that I think it was a Twi'lek, or he just had a really weird helmet on, was that, for every fail there's a success like you. So she knows the process. She knows, I don't know, either she's been brought in and that her job is to sort of test people from relapsing and in Empire indoctrination, and sort of just see, entrap them and see if they'll go along with it. I don't know, but I think she definitely is going on her own motives and using them.
It's
for
just
her
a
own,
weird one that she assigned, that they. I mean, I guess he was high pro. Maybe it was the fact that he was high pro. They did know he was high profile, but they put him in this dead end job to see what he would do. And she's just like, let me just see if I can push him. How easily led he is that he wants to start his work again. And it took 5 minutes of convincing. And then send him back, and she's like, okay. And like you said, if she's definitely working for somebody, I'll just fry his brain, and so he can't basically.
Well, I don't think he's getting
continue his
fried. I
work.
think he's getting wiped out completely. Like,
Yeah, just wiped.
he's getting like they were just like, oh, it'll just be a nice, refreshing,
Nope.
But he
He's
started
getting
off,
the
he was
full-
kind of like, and the Monkal's like, I did it myself, and it was actually pretty nice.
So that was it was very. I mean, at one stage I thought, geez, this is a long episode, and I thought, they were the converts, but they weren't.
No, well, it's double meaning, wasn't it? So circling back around. So we leave there. They kind of have the. It was weird actually because I'd sort of forgotten about the Mandalorians on that because they really literally bookend it. They didn't sort of cut in between or anything. So she sort of does the smug little bite on the biscuit, and then you kind of get the hard cut.
Am I the only one who kind of kept expecting Mando and Bo-Katan to just show up on Coruscant?
Nah.
Like when he says, "I know somewhere safe we can go." To the
Or
most
somewhere
populated
where
planet in the
they wouldn't
universe.
look.
Yeah. Well, they did. They went. So Mando and Bo-Katan outrun the Empire, and Mando's like, "Hey, I'll take you to the convent or the covert or whatever it's called, where all my Mando mates are." And they show up there, and what's his name? Dick Vizsla, the guy who hates him, basically wants to get in his grill at every opportunity.
Has Vizsla.
It's just like, you can't be
But
here.
he also hates Bo-Katan.
Yeah, so it's like his two least favorite people have turned up. He's just like, you jerks can't be here. And he's like, no, I'm a Mandalorian. I've done the thing. And it was kind of interesting because when I was watching the first part of it, I did go, why is she not taking her helmet off? Does anybody else think that's weird that she's just kept it on for the whole sequence at the start? Especially when they're talking and things, always seems a bit weird. Especially when you have one person who doesn't have to be talking under a helmet. But that, she keeps it on, and then he basically says, "Hey, keep your helmet on, keep everybody happy." And
he says before they land, he's like, "Oh, just do me a favor, keep your helmet on this time."
Yeah, just play nice with these weirdos, okay? I'm trying to get back in here.
Just be cool.
Yeah, just
be cool.
Can you be cool? Can't you be cool? Just be cool.
One time, just one time, please, just one time.
Don't embarrass me in front of my friends. So they turn up, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm a Mandalorian again." They go to the armorer, and he's smartly taken some water with him, which I guess is magic water. It does something special in the little pot, in the little pool thing. And it's kind of weird because it implies in the last episode when he's like, "I'm going to go do it," they're a bit like, "Oh, yeah, whatever." But once he's actually proven that he did it, they actually seem reasonably receptive to it all.
Oh yeah, well, she put the water in that sort of little. What was it? I got Dumbledore memory vibe sort of thing.
Like
little,
the pensive or whatever it is.
the pensive, yes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yep, he's a Mandalorian," and everyone's like, "Oh, friends, Mandalorian friends," and everyone's patting each other on the back like they're just taking a wicket.
So it's like that in between is friend.
Yeah. Oh, friend, Mandalorian friend.
Nice friend.
Yeah, and then he's just like, "Yep, you're legit." And Bo-Katan, because you got in the water, you didn't say the creed, but you got out. And you haven't taken your helmet off yet. Technically, you're cool again. Do you want to be part of our gang? And
Do you want to be in
But
my
did you
gang,
see the
my
not the
gang,
acting,
my
but you could sort of see from the helmet and like just the way the body language was, and everyone's patting her, and she's like, "Ooh, this is nice." Like
she's
got
like, "How can I
friends."
use this?" She's basically going, "How can I use this to my advantage?" Which is, how can I get these dumbasses to follow me because I've lost all my other mates. So if I can play the long game here and get in here, I can basically, I've got myself some Mandalorian muscle. I still think she's choking for that dark saber. She's going to find a way to get it back. I was actually on the Bad Motivators podcast this week with Struthers, and we were talking about last week because we were talking yesterday, and I was just like, "Oh, she's gonna," because he was going, "Oh, do you think she wants Grogu wants her to be a space mom?" And I'm like, I think she's gonna use Grogu to get it din. Like she's gonna use him as leverage somehow to get that dark saber, whether it's threatening him to get her to fight her for it or something. So I don't trust her as far as I can throw her.
which isn't far in Beskar.
No, we'll throw her down that lake.
Oh, see, but yeah,
she's playing the long game, mate. She is playing the long game. This is just she's just gone. I've just found a way to tap a resource of Mandalorians here. These guys are easily led. These guys are easily led, and they're superstitious. And all we had to do was rock up and say that we were cool with some water. And I know I've seen the mythosaur. I'm the only one with that bit of information here. I've just got to move the pieces.
Yeah.
Well, I saw
my castle's just been blown up. I'm going to take Mandalore with these suckers.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a meme this week, and have you seen the one with the arrows and stuff? And it says, and Moff Gideon is like defeated by Din, and the Darksaber goes to him, and then Din was defeated by the spider insect droid.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. The General Grievous. Technically, it should be hers.
Okay.
She's thinking it. She's thinking it, mate. Don't trust her. She's up to something. She's up to something. Now she knows that Mandalore is habitable. She knows that mythosaur's there. She just needs that Darksaber and a few suckers to follow her.
She needs to tame the mythosaur, though.
She'll get those guys to turn on Din and Grogu again if she has to. Like, she'll do it.
Well, the funny thing is, like, none of us saw this coming. Like, this sort of... You don't know what...
I didn't see this episode coming at all. I thought we'd go back to the pirates or something this week, to be honest.
Was there a monster of the week? Not really.
Well, they cut around the monster. The monster with the...
It's bureaucracy.
No, it was a good episode. Very, very rich. And
definitely different feels of all the others.
More Pershing than Mando.
Yeah.
Going to Coruscant was not... I mean, I know we saw it in the trailer, but for some reason it was good because I actually purposely skipped the intro this time after it spoiled what was going to happen last time. So I skipped the intro at the start, so I managed to not see any of the groundwork they were laying, so it was all a nice surprise. I don't know what actually showed in the intro. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah, so there was a bit of the client introducing Dr. Persing, so we got to hear Verksov's voice.
Yep.
Oh, it's always good. What else? And a bit about going into the mine. That was about it from memory.
And they had that Katie officer, Elia, as well.
So they actually showed her as well. See, that's good. I didn't see that because I'd be like, oh, now she's going to turn up. Like, I don't need to see that. I
think you're right, Joe. I think you're
great
in
for the
a good position
uninitiated.
skipping that. Otherwise,
yeah, I just went and I was quick on the Xbox remote there to just skip those little bits. I didn't need to see it. Different again. Like it's a little all over the shop this season. It's got a lot of things going on. It's jumping all over the place. It's still not exactly clear what the plot is. It's kind of got a couple of things all running at the same time, but it's entertaining. I'm like going to Coruscant, spending pretty much the whole episode there was not on my bingo card, so it was good.
You need to judge it based on the end result after all 8 because
I know, but we're reviewing this every week.
I know, but it does seem all over the shop, but it does seem to be leading somewhere. Like we are getting nuggets of a plot. Like Bo-Katan, she's not going to be as good as she's going to come out evil.
She can't be trusted, Matt. I'm telling you right now. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, but I was happy with the Coruscant dark underbelly of the New Republic.
Don't they leave? Doesn't the government? I mean, don't they leave Coruscant? Like I know Coruscant still exists, but like the New Republic doesn't set up shop there because they blow up when they blow the first Order blows it up. It's a different planet, isn't it?
It's Hosnian Prime.
There you go.
Yeah, so they change the capital, and I can't remember why. But yeah, they sort of
probably just because they wanted to blow it up.
Move it around.
I think probably just because they wanted to blow it up, but they didn't want to blow up Coruscant. You know what I mean? Like it was literally like, can we really blow up Coruscant? It's a planet that we kind of like. Let's just say that they're on another planet and blow that one up. Cool beans. Well, I think that's about all we can cover about The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3, Chapter 19, The Convert.
So last week was The Mines of Mandalore, and I think that was the first episode that broke the something like naming convention. That was first. I think that was that the first one with like more than 2 words in the title.
Oh,
And so we're back to like the normal the something
right.
naming
I
convention.
have to have a look. I have to go through the thing, check. I know it could have just been the mines. If they really wanted to stick to it, we would have known what you're talking about. Before we go...
The bath.
Before we go to the bath and bed. Star Wars Celebration update, Star Wars Celebration update. The panel lottery opened today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck, I've got to do that. Yep.
That wasn't me just saying, hey, Catherine, you need to put your panel... You've got a week to do it, basically. Which basically meant there were like a million questions in all the Facebook groups and things about the lottery. But it is only for the 11 o'clock panels, which we sort of... When we spoke about this last week, thought that was the case, which is the Lucasfilm panel, the Ahsoka panel, the villains of the sequel trilogy, and the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like... Yeah. The first 2 will be people will be falling over themselves again, and the other 2 people will probably be like, that'll be nice, I guess.
Sounds
I know, Matt, if you were going, you feel like you'd be...
I'd be working my sneaky
wheeling and dealing.
Listen, they got 5 beautiful celebration pops there that I only had to pay $20 to get access to, and they threw in a Bad Batch pass as well.
Oh, there you go. It was funny, actually. There was a few Facebook things of people going like, oh, so does that mean for like the other panels, like the Obi-Wan ones, we just have to queue up to get in? And I was going to like, well, some people just like walk in the front door off the side if you can, manage to pull that off. But there will be, I think they did it with the app last year. You could nominate a couple of smaller, like other panels, like a panel a day, couldn't you?
Yeah, if you get in early enough, lightning lane it or whatever it is, and then nominate your one up to Catherine. Definitely get your Andor selection.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean the Andor.
Catherine will just like what you should do, Catherine, is go to the 1 o'clock panel that's in that thing, and then just stay in the room and just don't leave, and then
hide in the toilet.
Hide in the
yeah.
I had a mate who hid in a toilet.
That's the stressor to get in.
A mate who hid in a toilet overnight, a Portaloo, to get into the Brisbane Big Day Out. Like he snuck into the like the showgrounds the day before and hid in a Portaloo all day so he could go to the Big Day Out. Then I'm like, geez, dude, it couldn't have been that expensive to go. I mean, it is funny. Like I feel like the Andor and the Obi-Wan panel should have been the other 2 big panels.
Yeah,
but
and even Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but I think the logic is that. I mean, a lot of the time it just depends on who's available. Like Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen might not be available at 11 o'clock that day. It might be simply that they're only available for that time on that day, the day that they're there. And same with the Andor one, that Diego Luna's like, well, I can come down in the afternoon, but I can't come at 11 o'clock because I've got shit to do. So,
what's he doing?
He's literally filming Andor. Like he might be like, "Hey man, I've been filming
English,
Andor.
I'm sure.
I've been filming Andor Monday to Friday.
Do PR for Celebration. Oh, be available all day. But there's always 1 week panel.
What time is the Andor panel? It's like 3 p.m.
3
or 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should know.
3 p.m. You can come after lunch. Like 11 a.m. He's got to eat breakfast.
I cannot come until I have my siesta.
Oh, do the accent, dude.
I'm out. See ya.
That was the last. That's been cancelled on air. Yeah, look, I think it's a little bit of skid. They're good panels, but again, the Bad Batch is already running. If they show a new episode, depending on where it falls, that'll be exciting.
Well,
people will like that. The villains of the sequel is good. Like Return of the Jedi again, but I mean, like the episode 1 panel we were in, that was chockers, but it wasn't chockers. Like I think people could get into those panels. So I think people, if they're all in the big room, I mean the Obi-Wan one I think will be the difficult one. I think people will fall over themselves to get to that. I feel like, no offense to Andor, it'll be busy, but you'll be able to get into it. And I think Return of the Jedi will be the same. But I think Bad Batch will be the same, and I think films of the sequel, it'll just be, it's the Ahsoka and the Lucasfilm ones that you'll have to like bloody pay off somebody to get into if you're not in.
The Bad Batch one I'm a bit surprised about, because I think that either it would have ended that like finished that week or finishes like the next week or something like that. I can't remember when it finishes.
It'll finish in 3 weeks. It's done. We're on episode 12 and there's only 16 or something.
So it'll be done by the time the panel comes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll just announce the next season, I guess. I mean, we went to the Bad Batch panel last time, and it was like the 3 PM panel.
Yeah, but the problem was Bad Batch was supposed to come out 7 months earlier, and was delayed and put off and everything. And they might have a lot more in the can ready to go. Like they sort of just shoehorned it in. I was like, all right, Andor's finished. Mando's not going to March. Let's just put the Bad Batch in and keep things flowing.
I feel like that Return of the Jedi panel, they could have swapped that out. But anyway, it's a lot of the time it's logistics and who can be there at what time. Excuse me. Who cares? If we get in, that'll be great. If not, it's not the end of the world. Everybody knows that the panels aren't the be-all and end-all of Celebration.
I know a guy. I'll help you.
Pretty good. Yeah, you'll just be like our guy on the computer. You'll be like Ned from Spider-Man. You'll just be our guy on the chair. Just like, okay, so I've got a guy here who can get you into the Ahsoka panel. It'll cost you £30 and a beanie. Do you want it? You got 5 seconds to decide. All right.
Venmo me.
You could be running some kind of like back-end pass, like hustle from home.
Some dodgy
at 4 a.m, like your wife is just like telling you to come back to bed, and you're like, no, I got a lead on, got
a lead on Hasbro exclusives. 3.
Yeah,
actually, can you pick me up some exclusives, Josh? If you get into the panels,
if I get in the Funko ones, I don't give a rat's about the things. You can have them for cost. I don't really care.
That's awesome. Thank you. I have that on tape now.
I honestly don't care about Funko Pops. So, good on you. If you want to go to the trouble of doing it, I'll bring them back for you. I just posted a care package to Matt Frost today, actually. And the beanies turned up as well. So I've actually got the beanies physically here in my study. Sorry. After last time when they turned up just before I left, everyone's heard this story a bazillion times, but they arrived, so I'm just looking at them going, gee, that's a weight off my mind, not having to worry about them being here.
Yeah. And not having to, like, repack an hour before
and have to pull everything out and then repack everything again, just going, okay, now I've got to try and work out where everything goes. What's going on here? Matt's, like, pulling something out. What's he... Oh, he's got...
Still in plastic,
mint condition.
Did you not actually... That's, like... Oh,
$70 to anyone who wants one.
I don't even have one of those in mint condition. I've just got mine. The last wrapped one I had, like, literally left the house today. It went out.
No, they're Callan and Dylan's.
Oh, right. Well, the other thing was that I got my my stickers as well arrived, and they wrecked the printing, and I had to send them back, which was really annoying.
And
even doubly, sorry. Yeah, I should have time. They said they were going to rush it. But the annoying thing was they're like, oh, hey, can you just send back the ones that don't work? We'll take them back. I'm like, why do you want 300 misprinted stickers? Is this literally just a disincentive so I don't give them away anyway, even though you've wrecked them? Like, it just seems weird. So it's like just people who go, there's a problem with it, send me more or send me new ones. It's just, anyway, I don't know why. That'll teach me. Anyway, so I've applied for the panels. We've got a little group going. We've got I've got the group codes sent out to you and Andy, Catherine. So you guys have got a week to basically apply for those, and then we'll see how we go.
Yes. And so Lucasfilm is the Friday, and then a couple of hours later is Andor. So that's
Andor's on the Friday.
That's the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of good because it'll be your first day. You won't be you'll be, you'll already been there for a little bit, so there'll be no jet lag. You'll be well rested. You're not like day 3 of the con or something like that. Like you'll have a nice big English fry up breakfast for breakfast. Although the good thing is, like, also, like, just having to say this, where we're staying in London, in Hackney, like, there's a Tesco's about a few hundred meters away. So you can actually go to a proper supermarket and buy stuff. Like, Did you ever notice it was weird in Anaheim? Like we just had that one weird little like thing on the dodgy supermarket on the corner where you couldn't really get anything. Like we can get like fruit and cereal and bread and tea and milk and just have like things in the flat and eat normally. No taco guy on the street doing tacos though, Matt. Sorry.
Gutted.
All right. Well, I reckon that's about it. I think we've covered this pretty good. Matt, 3 Men and a Baby Yoda podcast came back, or as I call it, the F Fest. The let's drop an F bomb every I've never heard so much swearing on a podcast. I don't think it was like the Kevin Bloody Wilson podcast or something. You guys were just like
me.
We're back.
I
don't know. It wasn't. It was like you were all feeding over each other. It was like a rat king of swear words.
I started off with like just a little bit of swearing emotion, and then that sort of just set the scene, and everyone was just going bananas on that.
So. Is like a piece of software you can upload an MP3 and it'll transcribe it for you, like easily?
I'm not.
I chat GTP and say, can you count how many Fs were in this episode of 3 Men and a Baby?
The only thing I can think of that is worse than listening to our podcast is reading our podcast.
I don't want to read it. I just want to do like a quick search and find on how many F bombs were in that thing. It was
17.
It was like if you'd been given instruction beforehand, you wouldn't have.
Who was the worst offender? Was it Callan?
I don't know. You were all pretty bad. No, it wasn't Turbo. Turbo was by far not the worst. It was the rest of you blokes. Turbo still feels like he's probably a bit of a guest, so he behaves.
We were. Yep. Anyway, we were too excited to be back.
You do you. You're excited to be back. That's
we were catching up for lost time. What can I say?
That's right. Catherine, not as much swearing on your podcast, and you just had Jimmy Dice on. I think that had passed. I think we mentioned that last week. Too much Star Trek talk. Bloody all Star Trek talk on your podcast. Scruffy podcasters this week, all bloody Star Trek talk as well.
70 minutes of Star Trek.
To skip to the 60-minute mark to find some Star Wars talk.
It was awesome, though. It was such... Like, Picard has been so good this season.
What about when Chris Hall said
Jean-Luc did drop an F-bomb, can I just
was
say?
The best thing to happen this year? That means it's better than Andor.
Andor didn't come out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, she got you there.
All right, I'm out. I'm
all right. Let's end this now.
Okay, Josh, shall we have a bet? Yes. On Sunday, it'll be one of the rare games.
Oh, it is too. It's Essendon Hawthorn, isn't it?
It's the Mohl versus Chapman Cup and Catherine Kneen as well.
Well, I was going to say you guest on each other's podcast, but you're already on this podcast all the time. All right, how about well, I'll follow up the thing. So basically, if Essendon win, you have to pay cost for the Funko Pops if I get them. If Hawthorn win, if Hawthorn win, you only have to pay cost for the Funko Pops, the exclusives, if I get them. If Essendon win, you have to give me 50% of whatever you sell them for.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not selling them anyway, so... Well, I might one day, but...
Well, we'll work something... Or equivalent. You have to give me something that is the equivalent of what you can sell them. Whatever eBay selling price is for them. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
This is the proviso that which I've never won a Funko lottery, or I've never won a Hasbro or a Funko lottery. I only got the exclusives because I managed to queue up at the Hasbro booth at the right time. But
yeah, Chicago, had a lot more of that, just random. You could just queue and get stuff.
Well, I mean, Hasbro was the biggest failure of Anaheim anyway because they had nothing anyway. So I hope they've learnt their lesson this time. But we'll see. Thank you guys for being on as always. Hopefully we'll see you same time next week.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Andor vibes.
Andor vibes.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.